can a coach build champions that has never competed?
Yeah, I gave him a little list of questions. That was one of them. And I was thinking of trying to just think of things that would stir the pot, really, when I thought of those questions. But that particular one is like, to me, is a no-brainer because the proof is out there already.
The most common ones that popped up were John Danaher.
Yeah,
right?
Totally.
What he's done.
Totally. Right.
And then like Jackson Wink.
Jackson Wink for sure, and then plus like just this list that's a mile long of wrestling coaches, because wrestling is not an art it's real common for the coach to be competing. In fact, it's straight up uncommon, like a unicorn almost, to where a high school wrestling coach is also doing tournaments.
Right.
Like everybody's jiu-jitsu professor competes in the masters divisions, it seems like, right?
Yeah.
They don't have that in wrestling. They have masters divisions, but they're not very popular.
Right.
So you have to travel for them. There's only one big one a year that I like to do in Vegas. But there's really not a lot. There's not a big wrestling scene for older dudes. So it's just not nearly as common. You know what I mean?
The other answer that popped up a lot was if you have professional football, soccer, all these things, a lot of the times the coach has never played high level.
Right.
Exactly. When they were in college, they were in college to be a coach, not to be a competitor, or an athlete.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I think to me the impressive thing is when you were never active, because the wrestling coaches, for example, I'm referring to, they had their time.
They all
had
did
their
high
prime.
school wrestling.
Yeah, they did their thing.
Wrestling,
They maybe didn't go as far as like maybe D1 wrestling.
Yeah.
Maybe they even stopped after high school, but they still got some action in. You know, for a guy like, I don't think did Danny here ever compete? You know,
He's, had his body issues for a long time.
Yeah. No, I mean it's like I said, less common in jiu-jitsu, but even with the jiu-jitsu ones, it's like usually they had something, even if it was just a white belt competition career, right? Like there's a guy that I follow on Facebook, Dan Lukart, I think is his last name. I can't say his last name right, but he doesn't compete. I think he got some concussions back in the day, but he's a great coach. Yeah. He's like an amazing coach, super high jiu-jitsu grappling IQ, right? So there's guys like that. You know, that either they didn't compete at all, or they did like Dan. I think it was like as a white belt and blue belt maybe, but then got hurt and stopped.
He was a blue belt, yeah.
Right, or not at all. But nevertheless, their IQ is so high, that they can do it.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
The counter argument to that was to be able to process people's nerves, right? So if you've never competed, you don't know what it necessarily feels like to compete. But like what you were saying, even if it's amateur or like a local competition, most people who are teaching have done at least that, I would believe.
Yeah.
So there's some similar things. And then when you get into world-class champions, nerves aren't a thing.
Exactly.
You're beyond that point. So helping your average person that's looking at taking on their first competition, having a little bit of knowledge of like, oh, this is just a local tournament that we're going to. Yeah, there's going to be nerves, and you can walk somebody through that.
Yeah.
And most people who are teaching have done at least that. They might not have made it to the highest levels and things, but they're doing that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They can definitely create champions for sure.
Yeah, creating champions. Build champions if you've never competed. Let's look at a video. Jesse Inkamp came out with this video.